the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. 2025 gave us incredible moments in pro wrestling, but it also gave us higher prices, more streaming subscriptions, louder fans, and a reminder that pro wrestling is a business before it's anything else. To let you know about today's show, this is not a best of or worst of list in 2025. What this is mainly about, this is about how wrestling felt in 2025. The tension between art versus business, us, the fans versus the corporations, patience versus instant gratification. Here's the main idea. 2025 was a year of great moments, but also a year where fans, us, started feeling the cost of pro wrestling's success. But today, I am not alone. I brought some help in here to talk about this whole entire thing today. I got my pal, Tyrell, from the Nosebleed Show, right here on YouTube. If you like fake sports, like football.
Oh, come on, man.
It's what? Football is fake, bro. It's fake. If you like fake sports like football with a sprinkle of real sports like pro wrestling, that is your guy. Make sure you go check his channel out. What's going on, bro?
Everything's good. How you doing? And Stu, shout out to Stu's views, man. Shout out to him. He showed up on the on demand for the last live stream. So shout out to you, man.
See, yo, Stu's a real one. I got an idea for what I'm going to do for what I'm going to use Stu for going forward. But let me tell you, everybody, what's coming. What Tyrell and I are going to be talking about today is our ticket prices. We're going to talk about streaming deals. We're going to be talking about AEW versus WWE. We're going to talk about long-term storytelling. We're talking about Triple H Backlash, and we're going to talk about what 2026 looks like. This is the last live stream of the year. Today's December 31st, 2025 is the last live stream, and I thought that today was the perfect day to talk about how pro wrestling is. What I want to know from you guys is a pinned comment. Whether you're watching live or on demand, here's what I want to know. What was your biggest wrestling high and your biggest wrestling frustration of 2025? I want to know that. What was your favorite pro wrestling moment in 2025? And along with that, we got a poll going on as well too. We want to know, how did wrestling feel to you in 2025? Answer it and use your voice, because this is fully interactive, man. So what I want to know, Tyrell, I'm going to ask you this question, and it's a rhetorical question because I'm not really ready for the answer yet. I'm presenting this question to you and the audience, and the question is, have ticket prices changed how often you go to live shows? You don't got to answer that now. Hold on to it for a little bit, and I'm going to revisit that question and see how you feel. If you are watching live right now or on demand, answer that question as well too. You don't have to wait. Have ticket prices changed how often you will go to live shows? So the thing, Tyrell, that I found that, like, for me, I grew up in New York City, and in New York City was a big market for the WWE. Is a big market for the WWE. And I remember the newspaper, the New York Daily News, when they would come to town, you'd always see $25 tickets in there. You see $30 tickets in there. But now, tickets are like reaching premium entertainment pricing. Like, you're going to pay, I paid $800 to go to SummerSlam. I went for both nights. But like, still, and I still didn't even have a decent seat. I think that live pro wrestling has become a luxury experience, and a lot of fans like myself, I'm feeling priced out, not priced up. What do you feel?
I feel like, it's gone up tremendously. In the ways where it's to the point where it's very noticeable. Like, usually we'll see like a price increase, but they would do enough to where it's not noticeable to like the naked eye, or like people who are not paying attention as much, or they go, oh, it went up like $10-15 or something like that. Okay, fine, whatever. You got to run a business. It is what it is, right?
Right.
I mean, it happens all the time. We got to deal with inflation, right?
Right.
But when the CEO Ariel Shafir comes out and says, hey, look, Vince thought of the family. We're thinking of topping out our max capacity as far as ticket price. And we kind of, and if we paid attention to 2024, we kind of should have saw this coming because they kept announcing the gate being broken over and over and over again. And when companies start talking about their dollar figures publicly like that, now we know TKO is a public traded company or whatever it may be, but when they're like on TV, like saying, hey, we've made the most this year, or we made the most in this event, you know they're ready to spike up those prices like there's no tomorrow. And that's exactly what they did. They told us to our face, they said, hey, we're breaking records. Thanks to you guys. Great job. Congratulations. And I don't think, and everybody just like whoop-de-doo, clapped and applauded and all the other stuff. Nobody actually sat back and thought, wow, I paid way more money for this last year than I did this year. And y'all rub it in my face that y'all took all this money from me.
The thing about
and,
that,
and that's the thought process I got on that.
And when you frame it like that as well too. What's going on, Stu? Stu says, what's up, fellas? Stopping by for a little bit. You know what, Stu? Appreciate you being here. You did get a little shout out in the beginning, but you missed it. You got another shout out. Stu, if you can't finish watching live, definitely come back later on. But the thing that you were saying, Terrell, is like, good point. The thing is that WWE was talking about how much money they were making. You know, they were talking about, what the house and the gate and everything else looked like for them. But the thing is that they weren't adding more people in the building. They were just raising the ticket prices. That's all they were doing. You know, they weren't doing anything, anything different, anything out of the ordinary. And I feel that's where when you really say, the bamboozle, the flim flam, the okie doke, the scam, all that is coming. You know, the thing that WWE is using these days, that they're using dynamic ticket pricing. The way that they're pricing out the tickets is based on the demand. You know, if you really want to go to WWE and everybody else does, they're going to raise up the prices. But if it's a market, let's just say it's a market like, I don't know, Memphis, Tennessee. The tickets there in Memphis, Tennessee might be a lot cheaper. But in WWE, if you're going to New York or California or somewhere in Florida and everybody wants to see it, they raise up the ticket prices.
Yeah. And they're also banking on, especially going to those bigger markets like a New York, like a Los Angeles, like a Chicago, they're banking on tourism. Let's be real here. Like a lot of hardcore wrestling fans, they travel to these big events. Like they spend a lot of money getting plane tickets and getting rental cars and parking and hotels. And then on top of that, they're like, hey, you guys are coming from out of town or out of the country. We are going to make sure that we're going to get the most out of the money. And, pause moment right here, suck you dry of your money. You know what I'm saying? But let's call a spade here, right?
Right.
Their business, just like all the other businesses, and they know, especially, TKO is good at, making the numbers and everything like that. They know that wrestling fans travel as well.
True.
But I want to give you something that a lot of people are not talking about, and what also played in a factor of why the ticket prices also raised. So when TKO earlier this year came out with their earnings for 2024, they showed us that they made $3 billion in revenue. They made $3 billion, but their net was $3 million. So imagine making $3 billion and your take home is only $3 million. And they got all these acquisitions with WWE, UFC, and paying off those debts and everything like that. But let's flip this to a company perspective. If you know that you can get the wrestling fans to shill out more money and you kind of need them to shill out more money, you're going to do that. You're going to do that. So a lot of people will just look at, oh, this is their gross. Nobody looked at the net.
Right.
And the net was literally $3 million off of $3 billion.
Right.
That's insane. That is a huge margin loss. That is massive.
But for business, though, it's not necessarily so bad. Because for people like us, regular people, right, that are not businesses, what we do is that when we swipe our credit card, we're using debt to buy things that are not worth anything. We're buying lunch. We're buying clothes. Yeah. We're buying vacations. Nothing that's going to put money back in our pocket. But what big corporations do is that when they get their debt, they're using their debt to buy more assets. They're using their debt to go ahead and buy more companies. So buy more companies to put more money in their pocket. So $3 billion down to $3 million, that's a loss. But in between that cajillion, I'm not doing the math right now, but in between that cajillion, what did they buy? They own, TKO, the company as a whole, owns WWE. They own UFC. they own the Pro Bull Riding, and they own when you purchase those priority tickets, those premium tickets to sit up front, they own that company too.
Yeah.
They're buying tickets. They're buying their own tickets from Ticketmaster. I'm just assuming freestyle how it works. They're buying their own tickets from Ticketmaster and then flipping it, and they're pretty much reselling the tickets and say, come sit front row and we'll let you meet Randy Orton. Pay $10,000 for that.
Yeah. And people are doing it. Which is like, and hey, how y'all spend your money is how y'all spend your money. You know what I'm saying? But like, for the people that can't do that, or they want to bring their kids or want to bring like their significant others or the whole family, that's what's slowly decaying. Like, you're going to have to choose. Well, if I'm going to, for an average American, you're going to have to go, well, I have this money that could benefit, my child bills, whatever it may be, but I can also entertain them, but I can't decide between both. Like, I got to choose one or the other. And it used to be where if I can throw this money to the side, I'd be okay. The Raw after Royal Rumble last year, right? Now going into last year, was in Cleveland. Me and my friends, we all went. And my friend was like, hey, I'm going to pay for all y'all tickets so we're not worried about the hassle of when we going to get the money, who got the money. We just going to take care of it at a later date, right? And he paid over $1,000, probably actually over $1,200, and we was in the very back of the nosebleeds.
$1,000 each?
No, it was like in total. So like each ticket was like $250, and it was 5 of us.
Just to sit with your back against the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I lived in Orlando.
Correction, it was 6 of us because he bought a ticket for my stepson. So it was 6 of us.
I lived in Orlando doing WrestleMania 24, not too far from the arena, from the Citrus Bowl. And I remember my friend telling me that he paid, his name is Dave. He told me that he probably paid, I'm trying to remember what it was. This was years ago. He probably paid like $25, maybe $50. It was less than $100 just to be there with your back against the wall. Your back against the wall. And to go to a regular Monday Night Raw the day after the day after Royal Rumble, you paid 6 people almost $1,000? Like,
over $1,000.
Over $1,000. It's just like WWE isn't charging like a wrestling company anymore. They're charging like a global entertainment brand.
They're charging like a UFC. Let's be real. Like UFC, you can do that because UFC doesn't have weekly shows. They have monthly shows. But WWE has weekly shows, and sometimes they visit these markets multiple times a year. They'll go, because like I said, Cleveland, we had a Raw and a SmackDown. We used to not get a Raw in this way. We either get a SmackDown, but no Raw, or vice versa. We had a Raw and a SmackDown.
Right.
Then they might throw in a house show in there. So you're talking about 3 shows potentially in your market. And you're going to be paying that much money. I mean, we're talking about Raw, SmackDown, and WWE live event, which are usually cheaper. But imagine paying all of that. You got to continuously pay the parking. Now, here in Cleveland, the parking is cheap for special events.
Right.
But still, like, you still got to pay for parking. If you're traveling, you got to pay for hotel. Or even if you live in the area, you got to pay for that gas. You got to sit in that traffic. You got to do all these types of things that, let's be real here, stresses people out before you even get to the event.
Sure does.
Traffic stresses people out. The money situation stresses people. The parking situation stresses people out. So, and that was the thing about Vince. Vince, I think he thought about a lot of that, and that's why the tickets were, he still ran a business, but that's why tickets were the way they were, because we always griped about Vince not giving us what we wanted on the product. And yeah, that was true sometimes, but he always looked out for us.
True.
He didn't make things way too expensive to where it is now. Like a $200 ticket, we used to kind of go, I don't know if I'm gonna pay $200 ticket, but you also knew that you were gonna be in the front. You weren't gonna have your backs against the wall for over $200.
True.
You were gonna be in the front. You might not have been in the very first row, but you were gonna be in the front. And you're gonna start to see, and another thing is you're gonna start to see a lot of faces change in that audience too, because you got some guys that show up to every event. Green shirt guy is a prime example. The Trinidad flag guy is another example. Brock Lesnar guy is there occasionally, but he doesn't stop going to as many events. I haven't seen green shirt guy there as much anymore. So I mean, even WWE is starting to price those guys out too.
Actually, I found out how they do it.
Okay.
How they do it. I'm gonna tell you how they do it in just a second. Let me just give the chat a little bit of love. Give the chat a little bit of love. Fernando says, "What's up, Tristan? What's going on, Fernando?" We're sitting here with Tyrell from the Nosebleed podcast, friend of the channel. Make sure you guys check his channel out if you guys like football, and other stuff like that. It does really good in-depth football coverage. Whenever football comes on, don't ask me. I don't watch it. I just know I watched it on Sunday. Let's see. Stu says that I'm not spending over $1,000 for a wrestling show. I'd spend that for WrestleMania, and I'm boycotting going to their shows until they cut them prices. That's what Stu has to say.
Stu, boycott away because that ain't gonna happen.
You see, for me, I'm boycotting as well too. I am going to support AEW this year, and I'm telling everybody that feels the same way as me as well too. Don't give up on pro wrestling, and I'm not telling you to give up on WWE as well too. If you want to speak the loudest, let your money do the speaking for you. And I think that's something that even like Mick Foley did in the end of the year a couple of weeks ago. He decided he was going to let his money speak for him, and he was going to take his business elsewhere. So for me, I'm going to be still watching WWE programming, but I am going to make the conscious effort to go ahead and try to watch AEW, even though it's not my style of wrestling and I want to watch it in person. TNA, I'll watch TNA in a heartbeat in person, but I'm just like Stu. I'm not spending $1,000 for a wrestling show. I'm not. I'm not spending $1,000 for a wrestling show to sit with my back completely against the wall.
Maria, yeah, it's insane, and I kind of, I don't know if I'm going to subject myself to watch AEW, but definitely, like, if I want to get my live fix in, I probably will go to an AEW vet. I don't know. We'll see. They don't come to Cleveland as much as WWE does. I wasn't there the last time, but the last AEW show I went to was when they did the CM Punk John Moxley match.
Okay.
For the double championships.
Right.
Like, yeah, that was the last AEW show I went to.
Was it a good experience as compared to WWE?
I would say this, right? For a person that don't like AEW, I had a good time there. Like, I really did overall. Like, it was a good experience. It had some energy there. Now, it might be different in 2026, because they've had less fans going to these events. But like the arena was like, I would say like over half capacity. It was loud in there. And the thing I did like about AEW going there live, the pacing was just great. Mm-hmm. Like there are things I wish WWE would incorporate from AEW. And one of those things is the pacing. Like it's nonstop. For the most part, it's nonstop action. Like It really is. Like you get a match and then it's like flip around, you got another match, and every once in a while they kind of give you a little breather to go. So there's some things that AEW got improved from the last time I was there. But like, yeah, as far as the pacing goes, I love the pacing of AEW.
That's something
like you're not sitting there like in a lull for like 15, 20 minutes.
That's something that's got me interested.
With your hands.
I'm interested. Just off of that alone, I'm interested. And I wonder who else is interested as well too. Fernando says that his favorite moment of the year was Seth Rollins cash in at SummerSlam. He also says that AEW is excellent. They do this thing called professional wrestling. I agree with that. I agree. WWE doesn't do pro wrestling first. It's like McDonald's. McDonald's is not a fast food company. At the core, they're a real estate company.
They're a real estate company.
Right. They sell buildings to people to run McDonald's in there. So like WWE, they're not a pro wrestling company at their core. They are an entertainment company. So they give you entertainment first. I think that WWE is on par with Broadway, big movies, even big name sports. But AEW is more of, to me, in my opinion, pro wrestling. You're always going to get a good pro wrestling match. I'm using quotations around good because not every match is great. But you're going to get a good pro wrestling match. You're not going to get great sports entertainment. That's not what they do. That's not the milkshake that they use to bring the boys to the yard. No, not at all.
Yeah, you know what? To be nice, I somewhat agree.
Stu says that you are good people. Stu says, Tyrell, you're good people, even though you're a Browns fan.
You know what? He's a little mad because my Browns beat the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? And we had the cigar, which it took me 2 days to get that smell out of this room. There's a reason why I don't smoke cigars in my house. But yeah, I had to smoke that Steelers pack one time, Stu. It's all right. Hey, 4-win team. That's our Super Bowl. Just saying.
Maria says that TKO has no soul.
I mean, most corporations don't have a soul. Let's be honest here.
I agree.
It ain't just a TKO thing. It's a all around thing. It's Walmart. It's
definitely Walmart.
Amazon. Like, come on now. If you're a major corporation, you don't have a soul because it's all about that bottom line.
See, so the thing is that I can feel why Maria feels that, and why other fans would feel that as well too, is because the WWE was a family. I'm not talking about before Vince McMahon. When he bought it from his dad. I'm talking about when Vince McMahon owned it. It was a family-run business. Then it became a corporate family-run business, and now it's just a corporate business.
Well, yeah, because if you go back even to territories, most territories were family-ran businesses or family-oriented businesses. And
the AWA,
a lot of people
WCW, all that.
A lot of people got spoiled with the Attitude Era, with it being targeted to men because that's where they had the shift. And then when they shifted back to being more family-oriented, a lot of people was like, "Well, what is this? It's not the wrestling I love." But just go back and watch the stuff from the '80s. Like they were able to incorporate, the male audience while also keeping the families there. You used to see a lot of old people, grandmas and grandfathers, like in the stands. You know what I'm saying? But like, I listen to Cornette, right? And listening to like Cornette talk about ticket prices in the territories compared to now, yeah, we gonna feel like we getting screwed. You could get a front row seat for like $5-10 in the Superdome,
right?
Maybe the Superdome was like 30, but like in 1984 money, like come on now, like and that's in 1984 money, that's $60 today.
But
yeah, people gonna feel screwed over because now I gotta pay $1,000 and sit in the front row potentially.
Right, and $1,000, if you still can't pay $1,000 to sit in the front row, you're still $9,000 short to sit in the front row. But I appreciate you guys' comments. I appreciate the banter. We're sitting here with Tyrell. He is the host of the From the Nosebleed show here on YouTube. We're going to link everything together in the in the description so that you can find him. If you know somebody that likes sports and they're looking for a place to express their fandom, I think his channel is the place to go ahead and check him out. But WWE, look, being 100% honest about WWE and their pricing, I'm going to say this and look, everybody, don't kill me for this. WWE has the right to charge more. They do. It's their business. They can charge whatever they want, but that changes who the live product is for. It may not be for me, right? And the way, Tyrell, that some of these people get to sit front row is because a lot of them are running businesses. So I realized that since this whole entire thing, the Tristan Law show, the channel, it's turning into a whole entire business. 830 Media, that's what it's turning into. That's where you see the little copyright thing at the end. And, starting next year, anybody that appears on the camera, we're going to have to sign a release and stuff like that. But it's a write-off. I realized that I can write off half of my SummerSlam tickets. I'm going to be able to claim it on my taxes because I am a business. I realized that I can write off a portion of my Netflix because I am a business. So that's why I'm telling everybody, hey, look, figure out the tax code in your local state and your local and the government, because what they are doing, they are making it easier for us to go sit front row. We just don't know how. Granted, everybody can't be a business. You can't just take the whole entire neighborhood talking about, I'm going to take the whole neighborhood to go watch wrestling. You can't do that. You can't take the whole neighborhood to go watch wrestling because then it's not a legit tax or write-off. I'm not an accountant. I do not pretend to be one on TV, but what I'm saying is this. The reason why most of those people get to sit front row is because what they are doing is that they are writing it off. It's a business expense for them. And I am learning that in the tail end of 2024, and I am opening my business. 830 Media is open for business. On this channel here, you got me. You got Cheyenne, the voice Ortiz with main event conversations. The second episode drops on Friday with Flash Carter, and I'm always looking for more talented faces to come on this channel because, like I always say, this table is not a small table where I sit at. I want everybody to sit at the table and everybody come with their best talents, work hard. We're all going to eat and we're all going to be happy. And you know what? That's even for the people that are watching. You know, I want to build a channel to where you guys can come and be like, you know what, this is my wrestling house. This is where we live for wrestling. And that is how they are able to sit front row, Tyrell.
Yeah, it's I never thought of that. I never thought that being a write-off, but it is true. It's a business expense.
We'll talk
at the end of the day. And I just, again, that's where they're leaning towards. That's what they're leaning towards. They want, and look at the celebrities that they highlight and all that stuff. They want this to be just as big from a mainstream standpoint as UFC. That's what they really do. And if it means sacrificing the hardcore fans, then it is what it is. That's in their opinion. Like, hey, what I'm saying? We got to make this money. We got to get the celebrities in here.
Thanks.
We got to get the big names in here, the media personalities. We got to get ESPN on board. We got to get Fox Sports on board. Whoever we got to get on board, that's what we're going to do. And if it means saying goodbye to you guys, that's what we're going to do.
That's right.
And it obviously makes us all mad or upset or disappointed, whatever the feelings are. And it does affect how we look at the product in general. It does, because you watch the product on TV, so when it comes to your area, you get excited to see it in person. But you take that away, now everybody's going to be scrutinizing the product even more, even kind of just throwing their hands in the air and go, you know what? I don't like this product and I'm not going to the show. I'm either done with professional wrestling or I'm just going to go over to AEW and TNA.
Facts. So let me ask you this. Have ticket prices changed? I asked this question in the beginning. Now let's go to the answer. Have ticket prices changed? Will they change how often you go to live pro wrestling shows?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, I even said this earlier that, hey, Jonah, I even said this earlier that those ticket prices I told you about, that my friend paid for. We even debated about him doing that because we're like, dude, like that's too much money for you to spend. And he's like, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. I got it. It's fine. But like, it does change us going, because like I said, it makes everybody second guess. Like, okay, do I sit back? Yes, let's go watch TV. Sorry. It does make you second guess, kind of go like, okay, I have other things to worry about. This is not a good economy right now. Not to get political or anything like that, but this is not a good economy right now. And we're still trying to take care of our business on the home front and still trying to entertain our kids or entertain ourselves and have this extra leisure money that we just don't have, that a lot of people just don't have. Like, let's be honest here. So, I mean, yeah, it absolutely does change the view on going to a show, because we have other things to work: credit card debt, bills, car notes. I mean, car notes are at $700 a week. Car notes are at $700 a month. I mean, and you got, and then insurance, and then your mortgage or your rent, and gas and food, and all this stuff has just gone up massively. And on top of that, our leisure, the thing that we can just get away for a few hours from stress, turns around and like is now going up as well and costs just as much as my car note on top of that. So now I have to choose between having reliable transportation for my children or for myself and going to a WWE event. Yes, it does change a lot on how you think about going to a show or even clicking that button, because you got ticket prices, but then SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, Vivid Seat, they got all those extra expenses, all those taxes, all those fees that they throw on top of it as well. That is just absolutely astronomical.
And when one company moves, when one company moves upscale, another one fills the space that they leave behind. And I think that company is AEW. Fernando says that, no, it wasn't Fernando, it was Stu. Stu says that I've gone to one AEW show and I had fun. I was in a great spot. They had really bad audio, and I couldn't hear anybody in the ring doing the promo. He says, Stu says, I want to go to an AEW show in 2026. They're doing some good stuff right now. He went, the last time was 2021 to 22 right before Punk returned there. He said WWE is looking for people who have disposable funds, people who don't have kids or families. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let me give you
Thank you.
Maria says that.
Yeah, thank you. Because I don't know if people just heard or saw my kids just bust through the door. You know what I'm saying? I got to think of that too. You know what I'm saying? I got a smaller kid, but still that affects like taking that disposable income, and it's just like, dude, I got to get, my kids are young enough where I got to get diapers or pull-ups. I got to get wipes. I got to get clothes on a dime because they always growing and changing. Right. I just ran out of clothes for my oldest because he done grew out of all the 3T clothes. Right. And I got to go get 4T clothes. And I'm sitting there like, I ain't got the money for that because I took care of all these other stupid bills.
Right. And you still want me to go sit down and watch WrestleMania? Let me tell you the thing that I learned. I buy one size ahead. So like, I'd rather him walk around looking baggy in his clothes, because right now he's a 3T, but I'm putting him in 4T. And my kid is tall. Like I'm not short. What? Your kid grows that much?
I had him bagging and he shot past 3T.
Tell him stop. You gotta start chopping off piece of his feet. Don't chop off the feet of your kids, people. I was only kidding. I was only making a joke. I can hear right now. Oh my God. Tristan said he's going to chop off the kids' feet. I was only kidding. I joke.
He could usually like fit the 3T shirts perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like it was the pants that were always too big, which I was fine. But then like I put him on one day and it was like flooding. I'm like, this looked like the Great Noah Ark on you, man. I was like, come on.
Brother, just put on longer socks on him. So AEW right now in 2026, I see AEW as what WWE currently isn't. They're more accessible ticket prices. They're easier for families and hardcore fans. This is not AEW versus WWE tribalism. I'm not telling you to stop watching WWE. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm not saying that at all. Those are two different philosophies. AEW didn't beat WWE at their own game. They just pretty much just built a different one. They're in their own lane by themselves. And here's the reality check. AEW, they're getting ready to be a 6-7-year-old company. AEW still isn't perfect. I will admit that as a hardcore WWE fan. But I think that what really matters, even Stu said it, that when he went back, 3 years ago, that the microphones weren't even all that great in the ring. Something happened, audio was bad, whatever the case may be. But what I think really matters to people at the end of the day is your affordability. And access buys loyalty. You know how I became loyal to TNA back in the day? I went for free.
Because access.
It was free. It was access. If you watch TNA, there's one scene where you see a Lick Skipper running on the cage and he does the Hurricanrana. Like, I'm there. You see me there. I was there when TNA was free for you to go into. And I am still one of those people that buy into that TNA should be in a much better position than they are now. And I'm glad that they are back. But while fans are debating ticket prices, wrestling quietly leveled up all its platforms. That's what pretty much happened. And we got the poll. I'm asking you guys right now, let's see how the poll is doing. I'm asking you guys a lot of things today. I'm asking you guys, how did you feel about wrestling in 2025? Right now, 60% of the audience says that it's better than recent years. Okay. Another 40% of the audience says that it's terrible. Lock in your vote. That's why you have to watch the Tristan Law Show live, so that you get to vote. We're also asking you, what is your favorite pro wrestling moment in 2025? Checking out Stu. Stu says, "Look at y'all, father bonding." Stu, do you have kids? If you don't have, Stu, when you have kids, I promise that your kid could play with my kid, even though my kid will be a better basketball player or whatever you. No, I'm kidding. But I'm looking forward to one day, like a part of the dream, Tyrell, is that we're all going to be able to. I want to do a live show, like in public, a live show, and have people come there and be like, yo, we get to see the Tristan Law Show live and in person. I want to have
absolutely.
I want to have a front row. In the front row, I want Stu there. I want Maria there. I want Universal, whoever Universal is. I want Heel Vega. I want Fernando. I want I want all of the day one people up front. And that's how I'm going to run that one day. So definitely. And then, you know, my kid's going to be there. You know, maybe I'll teach my kid how to do production so he can do all the production while his dad is working and stuff like that. But, you know, that's...
My kid's going to be there too.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Things up.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say this year, and again, I think the ticket pricing has changed a lot of people's views on this year. And I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said last week about fantasy booking. I think that's another reason why there has been a lot of quote unquote disappointment along the internet, because people just fantasy book John Cena's heel turn. Like that was the prime example. Like, and people fantasy book John Cena's heel turn for the last 15 years, and it didn't go the way people thought it would go. But I watched the John Cena Cody Rhodes robotic interview, right? Between the two AI generated people, and I will admit this, right? Cena's right. Like, if things didn't go the way they go, we probably don't get Cena and Orton again. We probably don't get Cena and CM Punk again. We probably don't get Cena and Dominic or whatever it may be. Like, so like the booking, it's been a mixed bag. You know, it's been some good, it's been some bad, but overall, I think there's been more good than bad. As far as my favorite moments in the WWE or in wrestling in general, to me, my top three moments were Seth Rollins cashing in, the actual heel turn of John Cena in no particular order, and watching Dominic win the world title in AAA. I have been sold on Dominic from the moment I saw him.
That's the world title in AAA?
Quote unquote internet footage of me, you know, saying that, but like I got chat logs going back to 2020 saying Dominic is going to be a world champion in 5 years. And he did it. And I love the growth and how they've been presenting him throughout this entire year. His feud with AJ Styles, his feud with John Cena, he looked absolutely fantastic in that. I just think Dominic has been one of the most up and coming rising stars in this industry. And to be honest with you, I'm going to sit back and say it because I truly believe this. Dominic's the it factor. He has the look. He might not have that chiseled tone look, but he has that swarmy heel bullshit look. He has the wrestling ability, and he has the mic ability. So yes, absolutely, Dominic has the it factor. So I think what 2025 has shown us, as far as with Dominic and Braun and even with Rhea Ripley a little bit, is that the future is looking really, really bright in this company. It really, really is.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I don't dispute any of that all. All right, so here's the question that I'm presenting to everybody for the next round. Here's the question: do platforms make pro wrestling better or safe? The reason why I'm asking that is because in 2025 we've had Netflix. WWE has a Netflix deal, pretty much made WWE global. If WWE was not global before, they are definitely global now. You got ESPN. You got ESPN involvement. Now pro wrestling feels sports adjacent. You can now, pro wrestling isn't across the hallway. Pro wrestling is now across the room. Pro wrestling is becoming content. It's not just an event anymore. It's the real deal. It's just as big as the Super Bowl. It's just as big as, you know, what's that movie with the green face lady, Wicked? You know, 2025 was the year that pro wrestling officially became a streaming product. Granted, we had the WWE network before, but like WWE, look, if wherever anybody wanted WWE to be in conversations, I think it's 100% in there around this time now.
I agree with that. Because WWE had to make multiple international deals to keep it global, and now it's just on one platform, at least for Raw, and really the pay-per-views, or the PLEs, whatever you want to call it, because internationally the PLEs are on Netflix. Right. So that has helped them out a lot too. Because it used to be we was on Peacock out here, and then everybody else still had the WWE network. Then they got rid of that, put it all on Netflix.
Right.
But the thing that has hurt WWE with that platforming as well is that a lot of people want to see the archive stuff, like all the archive Raws that we used to have on the network on Peacock. that we don't have anymore. It's like split up into different years, or we don't have the full year. We got like 3-4 episodes for 1 year. And now everybody's kind of like, well, I still want to watch my classic raw content, which, let's be honest here, that helps out with your current product as well, because even if people are like, well, this is how it used to be, that and this, that, and the third, but it's, if you keep people watching your library, you're probably going to get a good return for people to watch your current product, because the interest of wrestling in general is still there.
I can tell you where the library lives. Lives on Netflix. Part of it lives, it's scattered. It is scattered. If you have if you live international or you use a VPN, you can watch it on Netflix. I watch classic pay-per-views, PLEs on Netflix all the time because I have a VPN. Or, you know, you could go to WWE Vault. WWE Vault on YouTube. I swear, if you are not watching, if you are subscribed to the Tristan Law Show, or you watch the Tristan Law Show regular, and you don't watch WWE, you're not subscribed to WWE Vault, how you really gonna call yourself a WWE fan? How? I've been telling you guys for the longest. WWE has probably mentioned that WWE Vault, they've probably mentioned it 4 times when they were trying to get people to watch the whole Hulk Hogan cartoon from back in the day.
Yeah.
But other than that, they don't mention it. And I've been mentioning it before it was like, right now they have a new generation live stream that's going on. You just turn it on, you just hit live. After this, I'm challenging you guys to go watch it. And there's a WCW one if you were a down south person and you watch it as well too. WWE, they understand that their library is worth everything. Everything. And now it's so scattered all over the place. You pay your money on Netflix, you can get some of it there. You go to YouTube, and YouTube, there's no barrier. The only thing you need is a login and a password. And if you're here, you probably got a login and you probably got a password.
It's true. You don't even need a login and password for that. You can just click, and there it is.
Look at that. Look at me. I didn't even know. But if you are watching,
you don't even need that to watch YouTube. You don't even need to Google. You just go on YouTube, don't sign in, just continue as a guest, and you can still watch WCW Vault stuff. You can still watch WWE Vault stuff.
You want them to sign in, Terrell, so they can.
But absolutely,
so they can
subscribe.
That's right.
And hit that notification bell.
That's right. Yeah, hit that bell too.
And hit that like button. Ding. Absolutely.
I think,
but like for the people that just don't want to give the effort for that, which you should anyway, because it's very simple. 5 minutes of your life, bingo.
Thank you.
When a bango, you know what I'm saying? You know, but and it's crazy because I think they're taking all the WCW stuff off of Peacock and putting it on the YouTube.
Right, and that channel is called,
because I started torturing myself by watching WCW 2000.
Ah, damn, bro.
And now let me tell you something. I am like 3 shows in, and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be this is not even the worst of the worst, and this is horrible. Oh my God.
I mean, you know.
Which also made me realize something too, right? And I don't want to get too off topic. You know how we get the whole thing that Bret Hart got kicked in the head, and then that was his wrestling career? He still wrestled.
Right.
After that,
he still wrestled. It wasn't until he was jogging, I think, in Calgary, and then he passed out, and they found out he had a stroke or whatnot. But he said that he was feeling the concussions for weeks, and back in the day, in those 2000s, the late 90s, people really didn't understand what concussions were. Now that we understand what concussions are a lot more, it could save us. But here's a double-edged sword about WWE going to Netflix and ESPN. Bigger platforms equals a bigger audience, but bigger platforms also equal safer decisions. The risk, it becomes harder for them to be risky. They have so many people watching, they can't just take the advantage of okay, well, we're just going to cater to the hardcore fans, because honestly, I don't think that WWE is catering to people like me and you, Tyrell. They're not. Because we've been watching since Jesus was a child. We say that we watch Raw when Raw was really bad, and we still came in every week hoping that it became better. It's the people who don't watch Raw. It's the people who don't know what Raw is, SmackDown is, or any of that. They're looking for the new eyes, because you know what? You've already got the WWE belt in the back. You've already got the Winged Eagle belt in the back. They don't want you. How many WWE championships can you really buy? You have both of the ones that matter. So now they're looking for new people to come buy them. That's what they're looking for. Fernando says that WCW 2000 was trash.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm only in January 12th of 2000, and I want to drive my car through a wall.
Don't do that.
Not eject from the seat whatsoever.
Don't do that, because it costs you $700 a month, and you still got to pay your insurance.
Yep.
Remember, and you don't want your kids walk around with Steve Urkel pants. Do not let your kids walk around with Steve Urkel pants. Do not crash that car into the wall.
Absolutely not.
Fernando says, WWE makes me feel like I'm joining a cult, the way they repeat words like new era or epic over and over. It's weird.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm going to say this, too. You want to know why Triple H get a lot of flack for this, too? And I just thought about this as well. It's because, yeah, Triple H might not be the decision-making on some of the things that make us mad, but he is the guy going out there and being the voice of it.
True.
Going out there and being the voice of it. So when you put yourself out there and everything's fine and dandy, A-okay, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Great. You know, everything's good. But when shit like this happen, you got to face that backlash too. You got it goes both. It's a double-edged sword. Look.
You see that, right? That says backlash, and that's Triple H, and he's looking at you. You be careful what you say about Papa H, okay? Apologize to Papa H, right?
I ain't trying to get a sledgehammer to my face. Not trying to get a sledgehammer to my face.
I think that people are calling for Triple H to be removed, but like people are not looking at the fact of like, okay, we've gotten stability.
Then who?
If you know what, bravo.
Then who?
If you remove Triple H, then who? Good question.
Y'all want Bruce Pritchard to take over? Y'all want Michael P.S. Hayes to take over?
No, a lot of people want Vince. A lot of people want Vince McMahon to come back.
After years of shitting on him and saying he's old, washed, and out of touch. Okay.
On the interwebs, bro. Come on.
I've seen it. It is so funny because these are the same people that would call him the most evil POS for doing what he did with Janelle, for what he allegedly, let me say that correctly, allegedly did to Janelle Grant. And y'all want him back.
Yep.
I got my own opinions on that. I'm going to tell you that off camera. But, you know, y'all call him that. But y'all want him back? Y'all funny, man. Y'all, this is why you tell me to go on Threads, Tristan. You tell me to go on Threads. This is why I stay the hell out of the comic session, because I see stuff like that and it mentally drives me up here. And I'm like, I can't deal with this.
I feel you.
Y'all are making me mad because you know that saying, this is what my father told me.
Right.
This is what my mother told me. This is what my grandmother told me. When you arguing with an idiot and somebody else see you arguing with an idiot,
you're an idiot too.
They don't know who the damn idiot is.
Right. You're an idiot too.
Y'all both look stupid. So I ain't gonna look stupid. I'm just gonna back away and go, y'all got this.
You know what?
Y'all got this.
Sometimes when I post something with people on the internet and it starts getting to a back and forth, I just end it in a thank you for your comment. People look, there are people that don't agree with the takes that I have live on the Tristan Law Show. And I tell everybody, whether you agree or not, come on in and have the conversation. I keep it open to where you can have the conversation with me live. And if you don't like what I'm saying, challenge me. I love the challenge. Let's discuss it like two people. But there's people that will come in there and try to curse me out and say, you know what? Thank you for watching. As long as you're not racist or anything else like that, I'm just going to say thank you for watching or thank you for your comment. If I say thank you for watching or thank you for your comment, that's me pretty much this giving you a little dismissal. That's it. I'm like, yo, bro, you got it. You got it. But I think that we've gotten less, we got fewer panic rewrites. We've heard that when Vince McMahon was running the show, he would tear up the script 20 minutes before Raw starts and start over. We haven't heard that
in the middle of the show.
So I've heard as well too. I wasn't there, but I heard as well too.
Remember one of his, what was that, 22? He had Rollins go out there for a segment and like in the middle of the commercial break, told Rollins to get the hell out of the ring. You remember that?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that was like shortly after. I want to say that was shortly after WrestleMania 39. And there's a video of it, and he's like looking pissed off. Like they had him. He did his entrance and did the whoa-ing and the whoa whatever the tune is to that song. and like went out there and they completely changed the script on the fly in the middle of the commercial break.
Wow.
So like we used to see this all the time. And remember when the rumors of Vince McMahon was starting to come back and potentially like be more involved, even when he was in TKO,
right?
And they were saying, "Oh, well, he's gonna help." Remember all the back like, "I don't want Vince to touch his product. Triple H is doing such a great job," and blah 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 blah. Boy, oh boy, and the internet is the reason why we get called fickle, because it is like 2AT fickle.
I agree. They can't figure. They don't want Triple H. I mean, they don't want Vince McMahon. Now they don't have Vince McMahon. Now there's a problem. You know, now they got Triple H. They don't like what Triple H is doing, and now it's a problem.
Damn if you do, and damn if you don't.
I'm looking at the whole entire thing. I feel that they're okay. So I can ask you this question. Looking at the way with everything that's going, and you kind of answered the question already. Is Triple H the problem with the WWE right now?
He's a part of the problem, not the problem. And I will defend Triple H on this, right? You got a board of director, y'all know who I'm talking about, that just shows up whenever the French toast he want to, comes in there, goes, yeah, I want to try this. I think this will work because this will make me, and his little stooge, Gortz, carrying his piss bottles all over the place, coming in and bringing ideas. And Triple H ain't got no choice but to fucking go with it or try to adjust to it on the fly when he has all this stuff written out. And this is what you get sometimes, right? I'm going to tell you something that doesn't help neither. That WWE show, what is it, Unwritten?
Unreal, yeah.
Where you go inside the writer rooms has made fantasy booking way worse. And has made the expectations from the fans way worse as well. That's just a little side note. Triple H is part of the problem because there are certain things that he could do better, but I understand that he can't do all those things because he has bosses that he has to answer, that has bosses that have to answer to.
True.
But at the end of the day, he's doing the best with what he can do with everything. The whole Austin Theory thing is a prime example of it. Like watching the live stream from last week, Austin Theory had 3 resets, right? Now, I don't know what the French toast Austin Theory did to Triple H to where he got buried underneath, but right before Vince left, Austin was getting that rocket ship strapped to him.
Right.
Let's be real here.
Right.
Like he was getting pushed, he was getting presented, and he was starting to get over. The thing is, with the Money in the Bank thing, they booked themselves into a corner. And Triple H knew he booked himself into a corner, and that's why he used that cash in on the United States Championship, because you can't have Austin Theory cash it in on Roman Reigns because you know he's going to lose.
Right.
You know, because the concept of Money in the Bank that everybody forgot was you can cash it in on any champion, not just the world champion. Obviously, you're going to go for the world champion, but you can cash it in on any champion. And now we get this new Austin Theory that he's trying to build up to be this, whatever it may be, to be, I think, potentially upper mid card heel. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to work. I think we give it some time. If it works out right, I think it's going to work out. The thing I do like about Triple H is that he's built up a better mid card. He has.
I agree.
Overall. I think it's too much of the mid card because you got to worry about a women's mid card as well now. And you got to worry about a women's tag team division as well now on top of the men's. That's why I was never a fan of bringing women intercontinental titles and women U.S. titles. I was never a fan of that because I'm like, you have to book 2 divisions and you have to put 2 different, like male and female, and also book, instead of booking 4 divisions, you got to book 8 divisions. And you got about 2 hours to make 8 divisions look as strong as possible across 2 different shows. So all that flack about, the U.S. women's title ain't been, you got all this other stuff because everybody, and the thing with WWE fans is that everybody got to be a world champion. If they're not a world champion, then guess what? They're not booking them correctly, or they're not booking them the way I want them to be booked. Mm-hmm. So therefore, Triple H, you're the problem because you're not doing it the way I want to do it because I see how you guys are doing it in WWE Unreal or all this other crap. And I think we just need to dial back and change the perspective and realize that Triple H is booking for 8 freaking divisions. 8 divisions. Tell me out there that y'all can book for 8 divisions and make every single one of them look as strong as y'all want them to look as.
You know what?
At the exact same time.
When you put it like that, when Vince McMahon was booking in the Attitude Era, the time that a lot of us run back to, he was booking the WWF Championship, the Intercontinental Championship. They got rid of the European, but they had the European Championship. They had the Tag Team Championships, the Hardcore Championship, the Lightweight Tag Championships. And did I say Tag Team? Okay, well, maybe they didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
They had 7. But in the WWE, they have championships in Raw. They have championships on SmackDown. They have championships in NXT. They have championships in Evolve. It's like, Jesus. It's like Jesus Cristo. It's a lot. It's a lot for them to do. It's a lot for them to do.
It is a lot for them to do. But even like with the Attitude Era with those divisions, right? They would have those divisions cross over with each other, right? That's kind of not the case now. And a lot of people kind of don't want that to be the case, because when it does happen, one person looks weaker than the other. So a lot of people kind of go, oh, well, this is not believable anyway, unless they really like that person. But it's like having all of this, having Women's Royal Rumble, you're doubling everything. You're literally doubling everything.
Right.
Everything.
So let me ask you
It's
this.
like trying to make 2 pieces at the same time and trying to cook them both perfectly.
So let me ask you this, just to wrap up, right? Because we're almost we're up against it almost. What do you want your pro wrestling to look like in 2026?
I want it to look authentic. I want it to not insult my intelligence. I want storytelling. I want to be entertained as well. I think another thing is Triple H kind of went away from the comedy wrestling or the comedy storylines a little bit. I would like to see a little bit more of that, because not everything has to be serious. It doesn't have to be like all comedy.
True. But
just a little bit to lighten up the air and everything like that. And I do want to see, like, in my opinion, I think we need a stronger women's world division that we don't have right now, in my opinion.
For me, how I see my pro wrestling looking in 2026, I want it to not only be entertaining, I want it to be affordable no matter where you are. I want AEW to thrive. I want TNA to thrive. And I want WWE to thrive. But looking at the poll, how did pro wrestling feel to you in 2025? 12% of the audience said the same as previous years. 25% said terrible. And there's 62% that said better than recent years. But this is what I got to say to finish out 2025 for us. As we close out 2025, it's clear where pro wrestling is headed. Live wrestling is going to get more expensive. Streaming is becoming the main battlefield. AEW isn't trying to replace WWE. It's filling the space WWE no longer occupies. And fans, we're going to demand 2 things that don't always coexist: patience and payoff. 2025 didn't show us a broken wrestling industry. It showed us one growing faster than fans' expectations. And when we look ahead to 2026, the real question is, it isn't who wins, it's who understands the fans best.
Absolutely.
Well,
and I want to see Braun Breaker as the world champion in 2026.
I can see that. Well, call me, 973-826-0101. Send me an email, tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. I want to hear from you. That is my homeboy over there, Tyrell, from the Nosebleed Show, right here on YouTube. Friday, main event conversations featuring Cheyenne Ortiz. Flash Carter's going to be the, I almost said Flash Gordon. Golly, don't wrestle, kids. Don't get hit in the head. Flash Carter will be here on Friday at noon here in the YouTube show. I want to thank you, Tyrell. I want to thank Jess. I want to thank Felicia. I want to thank WrestleLeah. Those are the 4 faces that I had on here this year. Thank you for making the show something. I want to thank Fernando. I want to thank Stu. I want to thank Maria, Heel Vega, Universal. Anybody who's ever come in and participated in the show. I want to thank you guys for a great 2025, and I'm going to leave you guys with a song from NFX, New Year, New Me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tristan Law. He's Tyrell Jackson, and I see you next time. Actually, no, I'll see you next year.